What if you train like the world's best badminton player for just 7 days? Not his highlights, his actual routine. The same routine that helped produce a smash officially recorded at 419 kilometers per hour, one of the fastest speeds ever measured in badminton. That shot belongs to Viktor Axelsen, Olympic champion, world champion, and the man most coaches point to when they talk about what a complete elite player looks like. If you're a club player, there's a good chance you wouldn't even make it to day 2. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why. We built a 7-day plan using Axelsen's actual routine, his own words on his schedule, his recovery habits, his footwork obsession, and we're walking through what each day demands and what it does to a normal body that isn't used to it. 4 phases, 1 week. By the end, you'll know exactly which part would break you first. Axelsen has described what he calls a high-strain day in his own words. 2 hours of badminton in the morning, another hour on court in the afternoon, then weightlifting on top of that. 4 to 4.5 hours of total work in a single day. For comparison, most club players train 4 to 6 hours in an entire week. This plan compresses that same weekly workload into a single day, and then asks you to repeat it. The first hour feels good, almost easy. Your body hasn't caught up to what's being asked of it yet. The damage shows up in hour 3 when your footwork starts breaking down and your shots stop landing where you're aiming them. Most people who attempt this quit by day 2, not because they lack effort, but because they front-loaded everything and had nothing left for the second session. Axelsen doesn't have that problem because his body has spent years adapting to exactly this load. And if you think day 2 is where it gets hard, wait until day 3 because that's where the plan stops testing your effort and starts testing your skill. This is where the experiment stops being about how much you can survive and starts being about how well you can move. Axelsen has said the advice he gives to amateurs is simple. Build a base before you go hard because footwork is the key to everything else. Elite training isn't just hitting shuttles harder, it's repeating exact movement patterns until they require no thought at all. Multi-shuttle drills are a core part of this, where a feeder fires shuttle after shuttle at you with almost no rest between them, forcing you to recover your court position again and again under fatigue. On a recorded session, Axelsen's own footwork block looked like 8 rounds of 15 seconds each, focused purely on defensive movement, followed by 40 minutes of one-on-one rally drills built around changing pace midpoint. Try that on day 3 and you'll notice something uncomfortable fast. Your shots aren't the weak link, your feet are. Here's the number that puts it in perspective. In just these first 4 days, you'd already complete more structured training than many recreational players fit into an entire month. By day 4, most untrained bodies are moving noticeably slower than they were on day 1, not because effort dropped, but because the legs are running on fumes and precision is the first thing fatigue takes away. And as hard as day 4 feels, it's still not the day that actually ends most people's attempt at this. Day 5 is where almost everyone fails. Here's the part almost nobody replicates when they try to train like a pro for a week, and it's the part that separates them the most. Axelsen tracks his sleep with a wearable device, and he said directly that it changed how he understood his own recovery needs, that it showed him how much sleep he genuinely requires to perform. His post-training recovery routine is deliberately simple. Stretching, then a protein shake with a banana immediately after the session, not an hour later. His morning routine is just as unglamorous, a large glass of water and making breakfast. The kind of habit that looks boring until you realize it's been repeated for years without fail. On day 5, if you skipped proper sleep and treated recovery as optional, this is where it catches you. Your reaction time slows, your decision making on court gets worse before your physical strength does. Most people training this hard assume the fix is more effort in the gym. It isn't. The fix is what you do in the 18 hours you're not on court. And that's the part everyone gets wrong because it doesn't feel like training, so it feels safe to cut. Which brings us to the 2 days almost nobody in this experiment makes it to. Axelsen's off-court work isn't bodybuilder training. It's built specifically around badminton demands, explosive jump squats performed on sand for added resistance, side lunges for lateral court coverage, and crab walks against cable resistance to build the hips and core needed for defensive recovery. He's also talked about arriving early to sessions on purpose, not to warm up his body, but to settle his mind before the work starts, treating the mental preparation as seriously as the physical one. By day 7, if you've actually followed this plan honestly, here's what you'd be dealing with. A body that's been pushed through roughly 30 hours of combined court time and strength work in a week, on a nervous system that's never adapted to that rhythm. Running on recovery habits, it's never practiced consistently. This is exactly why players like Axelsen have flown to Dubai just to train alongside Axelsen for weeks at a time, because proximity to that standard forces adaptation that solo practice never demands from you. So, what actually changes after 7 days? Your footwork becomes more efficient, your recovery between rallies improves, your movement feels more controlled. But the biggest change isn't your smash speed, it's how you approach every practice session. You stop chasing shortcuts and start building habits. The scary part isn't that Viktor trains harder than everyone else, it's that he repeats this level of discipline week after week. 7 days won't make you Viktor Axelsen, but it might completely change how you think about training. So, which phase do you think would break you first? The volume, the precision, or the recovery? Drop it in the comments. And if you want to see what happens when you break down the footwork specifically, the 8-round defensive drill from phase 2, that breakdown is coming in the next video.